Welcome to Retirement Rescue Radio, a show specifically designed to help retirees and pre-retirees maximize their financial efficiency so you can live the retirement lifestyle you've always imagined. Your host is Nate Miller, investment advisor representative and author of the CPR Retirement Rescue Roadmap. Nate discusses thoughts and ideas from some of today's most knowledgeable professionals in the field of finance. He offers strategies along the way to help you make better financial decisions so you can maximize your retirement. This is Retirement Rescue Radio.
Well, hey there, and welcome to another episode of Retirement Rescue Radio. I'm your host, Nate Miller, and today's episode is going to be called Marathons and Money, because I want to highlight a couple clients of mine that have achieved something that I don't think a whole lot of people do. And what's even more significant about this is there's probably more people that achieve this, but there's not nearly as many couples that will achieve this. So here recently, I had a couple of clients that have run, they completed on October 17th, they completed their 50th marathon in all 50 states. Now, they've run way more than 50 marathons, but they finally completed running a marathon in all 50 states together. Yes, exactly. So they are 68 and 66 years old right now as of the time of this recording. And so that makes it that much more incredible. And so today, as we talk about this, hopefully, if you've ever felt like an overachiever, maybe this will inspire you to realize, well, maybe I really haven't achieved a whole lot, and I should go out and do more. If you've always felt yourself as maybe an underachiever, maybe this can inspire you to realize what's still possible. Because like I said, they're 68 and 66, and they have completed a marathon in all 50 states. And what's maybe even more amazing, I don't know, is the fact that they're both coming up on marathon number 200 lifetime number, right? Lifetime number 200, very, very close. I think one of them has 2 more marathons to run. The other one has 5 more to run, and they will eclipse 200 marathons in their life. And so I just want to take a chance to just highlight their accomplishments and talk about a few of the things that they have done. They've both been running marathons since the 80s. One of them started back in 83 and the other one in 1987. And their personal best is both at the Boston Marathon within not even 2 minutes of each other. 2 minutes of each other. It was their personal best. And that was awesome. And so they've got numerous high finishing awards as well. Let's see, I know that one of them has been a 3-time award winner at Boston. They've also placed first in a senior masters. Another one has a second place finish in New Mexico, a bunch of third place finishes, including Estes Park, Colorado. And man, if you're running in Colorado, it's not going to be, a flat run, right? And then some 41 sub 4 hour states and 10 sub 3 hour states. So I remember I haven't run any marathons. I've run a couple half marathons, and my half marathon time was, I think it was like 1 hour, 53 minutes and some change. I don't remember what the seconds were, but, and then I hear that they're running marathon in under 3 hours. That's amazing. So here I am, in my 40s. I was in my 30s when I ran my half marathons, and they're running full marathons in their 60s with better times than when I was running my half marathon pace. So that's awesome. Let's see what else. Let's see, they've done back-to-back marathons. Wow. They've also this is amazing. So the husband, his most memorable marathon was Boston 1994. It was his personal best, and it was also finished alongside his future wife. They got married 2 months later after that. So they ran Boston, had his best race ever or best time ever and personal best, and then got married to his wife 2 months after that. So that's pretty awesome. Let's see, they've run, both of them ran 11 marathons in 2006. So if you're doing the math there, that is almost one every single month in 2006. And so, yeah, that is amazing. So once again, guys, it's like, obviously I haven't, released your name or anything like that, but I just wanted to say congratulations. You guys have achieved something awesome. And it's great to see you still, together after all this time and doing something like this, setting goals together and then just literally knocking them out of the park, so that's awesome. Congratulations again. That is amazing. So I guess any of my other clients, obviously you've all done cool stuff too, but you know what? There might be a lot of stuff that you've done that's been really cool that we don't know about. I don't know about it. Maybe we've never had that story that's been talked about. And definitely a lot of my clients don't know some of the cool stuff that you've done. So if you feel so inclined and you want to be featured on one of our future episodes where we go over some of the cool stuff that our clients have done, just feel free to email into asknate@retirementrescueradio.com. And I would love to be able to share that story on air. So that would be great. So once again, to the couple that I'm talking about here, you know who you are. If you've had conversations with any of my other clients about your, shared interests, obviously they know who you are as well. But once again, I just wanted to say congratulations. That is awesome for achieving that. So, all right, with that done now, I do want to transition to actually talking a little bit about money now. And it's going to be from an article that I read, and it's from Financial Advisor magazine. So it's like fa-mag.com. And it's the 4% rule is now the 3% rule. Matter of fact, they're actually quoting Morningstar. Morningstar is saying that the 4% rule is now 3.3. So what does that mean? That means if you have $1 million, then they say you can only live on about $33,000 per year. That's what they're saying. And so the 4% rule actually came about in the mid 90s. And it was when planning to live about 30 years in retirement, they said with about a 50-50 mix of stocks and bonds, your money, if you only took out 4% adjusted for inflation, should be able to last your entire life. I think it had like a 96% probability that your money was going to last for 30 years. And so now they're saying that people retiring in the next few decades should only count on withdrawing 3.3% of their savings. And so this was a report that Morningstar published, would have been last week. So the writing of the date of the writing of this was November 15th of 2021. And so that is not very fun to listen to or to hear, because with somebody with $1 million portfolio and pensions being a perk of the past, Social Security benefits with the possibility here in the future of getting cut, then there's not much of a safety net for people to not run out of their savings if now they have to take 3.3% when they were planning on maybe taking 4 or maybe even 5. And now little disclaimer. So this is if your assets are left entirely in the market, in what is called securities, products that can go up, products that can go down, products that don't have any type of real safety net. It's like they're just going to fluctuate based on whatever the market does. And so that's the problem. Now it's the 3.3%, according to Morningstar, it's conservative, one, and it's less of a suggestion and more of a what they call a starting point. Most, a lot of financial planners are going to recommend retirees take a little bit of a flexible approach to withdrawals. So maybe like if there's years that have done really, really well, maybe we take out a little bit more money, or years that don't do just so well, maybe we take out less, But I can tell you what, a lot of people are not big fans of having to go backwards, right? And so, nobody likes taking a pay cut or saying, you know what, I'm not going to take that vacation, or I'm not going to do this. Heck, we were forced to do that in 2020. None of us could really take vacations at that point. So, we by just a pandemic ended up spending less, most likely, than what we normally would. And guess what? It probably wasn't fun. And so this is what I always find really funny or very interesting about the financial industry when they're talking about safe withdrawal rates, because if you leave your assets in products that can fluctuate, they can go up, they can go down, right? There is market risk still associated with all of these assets. Whenever they're doing these studies, they're talking about withdrawal rates that are, I've even seen 2.8% talked about as a safe withdrawal rate. And because the reason it's been adjusted down so much, a big key is in the 90s, the bond market was very different than what it is now. The rates were higher, so you could get some good yield from them. That's a big key. Right now, rates are really, really low. And so bonds tend to have an inverse relationship with interest rates. So if you imagine if you own a bond right now and that bond is paying 2% interest. And then all of a sudden the rates go up, and now you can buy a new bond that is paying, say, 3% interest. Well, who's going to want to buy your 2% bond? So the actual price of your bond will go down. So if you have bond mutual funds, which is how most people hold bonds, they don't just hold a single bond all the way to maturity. They hold bond funds. And so inside those bond funds, bonds are being bought and sold all the time. And so when interest rates rise, the price of bonds go down. And if we are in historically low interest rate environment like we are now, and interest rates pretty much just have almost only one way to go, and that's up, well, then the actual value of your bond is going to go down for the future. So that's one of the reasons that they're talking about lowering that safe withdrawal rate assumption. Now, once again, that assumption assumes that you're only using market-based products. So and a lot of you know, we take a very balanced approach here to where we incorporate insurance like annuities and into our retirement planning as well. And what we have found is that by incorporating annuities that have actual guarantees subject to the claims paying ability of the issuing carriers, you can actually get higher withdrawal rates on the money that goes into annuities than what all these articles say that you can, quote, safely withdraw from market-based environment. So what you've done now is you've transferred some of that withdrawal risk to an insurance company, and you're able to get higher withdrawal rates. And a lot of it's based on the age, when you start taking your income. So, I mean, I've seen withdrawal rates 5%, 6% even, depending on how old the person is. And so when you start to have options like that, where you can actually get higher withdrawal rates, well, that means you can take a smaller chunk of your money to get the income that you need. And you may still have other money that doesn't even have to be used for income in retirement. And so now there was an episode, which we'll have to link to it here in the show notes, called Discretionary Liquidity, where we go over what true liquidity is versus technical liquidity. Technically, if you just have $1 million all invested in the market, technically all of it's liquid, right? But if you need all $1 million to get the income that you need, well, then you don't really have any true liquidity, because you need all $1 million to get the income. No true liquidity. You can't take extra out, right? If you could take extra out, that would be true liquidity, but you can't. So, I mean, technically, while there's no penalties for taking out more, truthfully, you really shouldn't or can't, because all of it has to be used for that safe withdrawal rate. And so once again, if you allocate some to a product that can guarantee a higher rate based on whatever income riders or annuitization or whatever it is, whatever guarantees are built into that product, once again, with the disclaimer of subject to the claims paying ability of the issuing carrier, right? Then yes, you can get higher withdrawals and more true liquidity, because now that money outside of what you're actually taking for an income doesn't even have to be used for anything, and is just going to sit there and grow. And so then you can pull out of that just for any extras that you might need for vacations, or for down the road, some of those big what ifs that might happen, like long-term care expenses, And so, yep, that's why, once again, it's like they just keep revisiting this 4% rule and keep ratcheting it down and adjusting it here and adjusting it there without taking into consideration the withdrawal rates by using other types of retirement income products. So maybe I'll have to get an article where we go through that with Financial Advisor or MSNBC or Yahoo Finance or whatever it is. I'll just offer an article that goes over that. So there we go. I'll just have to do that. Stay tuned for this, for that. That's it. I think, pretty short and sweet today. There wasn't a whole lot that I wanted to go over. We are coming up on the Thanksgiving weekend. I know by the time this actually comes out, it's going to be past Thanksgiving. So I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving. And if I don't get a chance, I hope you have a very happy or very Merry Christmas and then Happy New Year, as we're coming into the end of 2021 already. It's amazing. 2020 just seemed like it just crawled by because of all of the lockdowns and not able to travel. And it just, it's so slow. But 2020 has just flown by. And maybe in 2022, we're finally going to start seeing the end of all this craziness. Because I don't know about you, but I've got COVID fatigue. I'm tired of hearing about it. Don't want to hear about it anymore. So that's it, guys. Once again, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving and have a very Merry Christmas.